How the FBI broke up a plot to stop a mass shooting. Back in October, the FBI says it began its investigation into Mark Prieto after a confidential informant who spoke with him more than a dozen times over 3 years at various gun shows said Prieto called for a mass shooting targeting blacks, Jews, and Muslims before the 2024 presidential election. During a January gun show in Phoenix, Prieto tried recruiting that informant and an undercover FBI agent. According to court records, Prieto wanted to carry the plan out in Georgia because, he says, when he was a kid, that was one of the most conservative states in the country. More specifically, Prieto wanted to carry out the attack at a rap concert because he said there would be, quote, a high concentration of African Americans. During a February meetup at a gun show, Prieto began offering details of the plan, including the number of guns to be used. During this meetup, Prieto sold that undercover agent a gun for $2,000 and said he would also like to use grenades during the attack because it can, quote, cause panic. At another gun show in March in Prescott Valley, Prieto provided more specific details. That attack would take place in Atlanta at State Farm Arena on May 14th or 15th. Performing that night was rapper Bad Bunny. During that gun show, Prieto sold an AR-15 rifle to that undercover agent for $1,000 and told them to, quote, bring as many magazines as the gun could carry. In the following weeks, agents continued to monitor Prieto's movements. During an April meetup, Prieto continued to fine-tune his plans, even discussing heading east to do reconnaissance, but emphasized the attack, quote, must happen prior to the election and as soon as possible. Authorities arrested Prieto back on May 14th as he crossed into New Mexico. Investigators say he had several guns in his truck, even more found at his home in Prescott while executing a search warrant.
Okay, so y'all just heard that news clip right there, and it came from NBC News, where it's talking about this man by the name of Mark Adams Prieto, who you see in this picture right here, who said he was going to plan on committing a mass shooting with the intent to kick off a race war. I keep telling y'all, don't listen to them when they say stop making everything about race. Everything is about race to them. Don't let them sell you that pipe dream that it isn't. It is. Now, this man has been planning to do this since October of last year, and he's all the way in Arizona. His reason for wanting to go out there is because he said when he visited Georgia when he was a little boy, it was a more conservative state, but now it's become too quote-unquote liberal, aka too black, because you know it's a lot of black people that live in Atlanta. They call Atlanta the Mecca. That's the nickname that they have given it. So what better place to target than Atlanta, where a lot of black people are at? And even make it more specific, let's go to a Bad Bunny concert and target them there because it's a rap concert. I hate to break it to this Mark guy, but I don't know if he knows of the demographics of the people who consume a lot of rap music these days, but it ain't black people like that. The biggest consumers of rap music today typically, and I've said this before and I'm gonna say it now, are typically young teenage white males. That's typically the demographic that rap gravitates towards, and I would know this because of the place where I work. I remember working a Kendrick Lamar concert, and he had also on tour with him Travis Scott, and it was somebody else. It was a hip-hop concert, and it was a lot of white faces in there, a lot of other non-black, non-white faces in there as well. So he probably would have been disappointed. And to my knowledge, isn't Bad Bunny, isn't he Latino or something like that, south of the border? He's not even black. So you were going to a concert that a non-black rapper was headlining and thought that was going to be the way to do it. Not go to a concert where it's a black artist there or a black rapper there, but a non-black rapper. I don't know how that would have worked, but I guess he thought, hey, he heard rap concert and that's all it was. Now, I noticed also too that he said that he was targeting, or like when in his little document, that he was targeting black people, Jewish people, or Jews, and Muslims or Muslims. But in the article, it says he was targeting black Americans. Like, that's what his point was going to that concert. So when he mentioned those other two groups, you could have put them to the side and just focused on black people, because really that was his main and primary target. And the thing that got me when I first heard about this story more than anything is the fact that this guy is all the way in Arizona, wanting to plot to do something all the way on the other side of the establishment. That's how desperate he was to want to, quote unquote, kick off or incite a race war. That's how staunchly he disliked or had a disdain or a loathsome towards Black Americans, that he would travel all the way to the other side of the establishment in another time zone to commit this act. Not stay in Arizona where he's at and do it, because it's not like touring isn't a thing. I'm sure Bad Bunny probably was gonna go to Arizona. I mean, he could have went to like Phoenix or something. But you want to go out there because that's where he felt the majority of black people were. Because if, say, Bad Bunny was to come to Phoenix, it probably wouldn't have had the same effect because it wouldn't have been that many black people there, and he knows that. So let's go to where the most blackest place I could think of, and that's Atlanta, to do this. Luckily, he sold these weapons or discuss these plans with some undercover agents, and that's what makes people like him so dumb, because it's like, y'all don't think that they plant undercover agents at these gun shows or at these lobbyist meetings? You don't think they actually send them undercover there to see what's going on, to may possibly get some intel on the mindset of some of the people that's there, like this guy on your screen? They have them planted all over the place because you just never know what these quote unquote gun enthusiasts have cooking up in their brains, such as this guy right here. It would be a risk if they did not have them there. But y'all want to discuss your plans and all this stuff with all these people, not knowing who you're talking to. You should never, ever, ever discuss something like this out in the open. It shouldn't even be discussed at all, but out in the open, because you never know who's listening and you never know who it is that you're talking to. He just happened to be talking to some undercover agents, and that's when they started to build the investigation. They said he'd been planning this again since October of last year, and they got enough in the investigation to get him recently. Because if I'm not mistaken, the concert happened back in May. So they had all they needed from him. They got him. They indicted him. Now, how they're going to deal with him, they said he was indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of firearms trafficking, transfer of a firearm for use in a hate crime, and possession of an unregistered firearm. I say throw the book at him in every way possible. Now, I was trying to wait to do this video because I wanted to see if they were going to put a mugshot of him. They haven't put a mugshot of him yet. And I'm recording this on June 13, 2024. This story went up about 24 hours ago. We have no mugshot of this guy. Fortunately, we even got this image and his name. But we have no mugshot. You mean to tell me they did not take his mugshot? I find that very hard to believe. Like, if you typed his name in, you couldn't find it. Now, of course, by the time y'all see this video, there may be a mugshot up there. But the fact that there wasn't one immediately, especially with what he was trying to do, that is a problem. But then that starts to segue into the Operation Protect the White Boy territory that I'm always talking about. So I'm glad this guy's plan was failed. It was a failed plan, but the fact of the matter is that he could have got away with it if he did not broadcast it. That's what messed his plan up. When he broadcasted it and told people what he was planning to do, that's what messed him up. So if he stayed quiet about what he was going to do and moved in silence, he would have carried out his plan. So thankfully, he was what our parents would say, loose lips sink ships. His plan got sank when he decided to open his mouth and start talking. See, he was so enamored with what he was planning to do that's what he decided to do. And it's not slept on me either that this man's last name is Prieto. So he would fall into the white Hispanic category. And I saw some of the comments that some of them people on X left when it pertained to that. They were trying to shove him into the Hispanic category immediately when this happened. Because remember what I told you, they like to do the black and brown thing when it comes to, trying to paint a certain narrative as it comes to black people. They'll claim them when they can use them for their benefit. But now they're trying to say, oh no, he's a white Hispanic. Oh no. Y'all have him. Y'all can claim him, because I'm willing to bet this man probably doesn't even mark Hispanic on any document. And I bet you, if you didn't even know his name and you just saw his face and didn't even hear him speak, I swear you would think that was a straight up and down white man through and through. So there you have it. White Hispanic, just white guy, either way, this man had a staunch anti-black narrative and sentiment about himself. And that's the bottom line of it all. So y'all can go around and try to throw him and say, oh, he's Hispanic and this, that, and the third. Guess what? We got an issue with them too, because they're anti-black as well. So, boop, ball back in your court. But I saw them comments. I saw what they were trying to do and what they were trying to say. And we, as black people on X, when we saw that, we pushed back against it. And it's like, no. Y'all got him. Y'all can keep him. Don't try to do the, oh, we not claiming him. No, claim him. Because quiet as it's kept, he's most likely already claimed you.